Here's a video as promised for you guys that I mentioned in another video that I said I was going to do a continuation on what should have happened in the show Sonic X or something like that. Hope you guys like this. And if you want to read along with this, you're welcome to. I will have the story in the description. And if you want to animate this, be sure to give me credits. I will allow it. And if you want to add on to the story, you're welcome to. So other than that, hope you guys like this. It's entitled A Sad Tale Story with a Somewhat Happy Ending. Here we go. One day, Tails was in his workshop/house sweeping up, working on his X-Tornado like what he usually does on his spare time when he's not hanging out with Sonic and the others. But one day, his plant, which was a remembrance of his friend Cosmo, started to flash several times. Tails thought it was a signal to say Cosmo was coming back. Suddenly, a white beam came out of nowhere and dragged the plant away. Tails got scared and immediately headed towards his X-Tornado and flew towards the beam. He made improvements on his plane so he can now go towards outer space. When he reached towards the end of the beam, he was greeted with two faces, one familiar face and one not so familiar face. It was Dark Oak, also known as Lucas, and Earthia. Tails shouts, "Give me back my friend!" "Not a chance, mister," said Lucas. "We are taking her back home with us." Earthia says, "You should probably head back home while you can." Tails refused and said, "Not without my dear friend Cosmo, I'm not. Now hand her back over or I'll make you hand her back over." Lucas fired a beam towards Tails, causing his X-Tornado to explode, then shouted, "You've been warned, fellow. We are taking our daughter back, and that's a final." Tails plummeted towards his planet and screamed, "No, Cosmo!" He soon landed on his planet, right onto a field of grass. He didn't break any bones, but he did hurt his head. When he soon got up from his concussion, he immediately ran over to his workshop/house and plopped onto his bed and started sobbing and shouting, "Why? Why did they have to take Cosmo away?" At that point, Sonic saw and heard everything. He even witnessed Tails crash landing on their own planet. Sonic went to talk with his friends Knuckles, Amy, Cream, Vanilla, and even Rouge and Eggman, and told them about Tails having his heart ripped in half. They all thought of different ways to make Tails forget about Cosmo, at least for a while or until Cosmo does return. At first, Knuckles invited Tails to join him on a walk around some scenery to take his mind off of Cosmo. That didn't work. Next, Amy makes him one of his favorite meals, but that made the situation worse. It made him miss Cosmo even more. Rouge even attempted to kiss him, but that knocked him out cold. And even Dr. Eggman tried to make a robot to replicate Cosmo, but it malfunctioned and exploded. Tails was devastated like you wouldn't believe. Sonic tried to fight off/reason with Earthia and Lucas/Dark Oak, but unfortunately Cosmo had to return to their home planet, and Sonic had to tell Tails the unfortunate news. Tails asked Sonic, "Sonic, where's Cosmo?" in a sad voice. Sonic replied, "I'm sorry, Tails. I couldn't convince her parents to stay with you." Tails yells at Sonic, "You're lucky you have Amy Rose. I have nobody since Cosmo left. Now she's back and they won't let me see her again." Then Tails immediately flew out of his workshop/house, furious and heartbroken. He really wanted Cosmo to stay with him because she meant a lot to him. But because of Cosmo's parents refusing to let her visit with her friends, he's just heartbroken and jealous. Next thing you know, he flies right into Cream and they both crash land. Tails yells, "Why don't you look where you're going?" Cream replies back, "I'm very sorry, Tails. I know how you feel." "Oh, sure you do," says Tails. "I really do. Remember that robot, Emeil?" Tails responded with, "Listen, Cream, Cosmo was more than just a friend. She was like, well, you know how Amy is like to Sonic, right? It's more similar to that than rather than just good friends." Cream says, Tails, I'm very sorry. If I could do anything to get Cosmo back, I'd do everything I can. I miss her as much as you do." Tails responds by saying, "Do you know what it's like when you really like someone a lot, but then your heart gets shredded to bits afterwards? That's exactly what happened to me." Cream takes Tails to her place and does what she can to make him feel better. Surprisingly, she actually does just that. Tails eventually got over him missing Cosmo and started appreciating what Cream is doing for him. Eventually, they started getting together like how Sonic and Amy usually get together. In the end, Tails let Cosmo go, and Cream was there for him. Even Cheese the Chao was there to help as well. Hope you liked my story that I have written. So if you want to add on to it, you're welcome to do that. If you want to basically make an animated version of the story, you're welcome to. Just be sure to give me credit. So thanks for watching. This is Cute Mimi25 saying, hope you like this story. Until then, see you in the next video.